The GIS clawback rate. Let me explain what that actually means in dollar terms, because this is where people feel the real pain. For a single senior in 2024, GIS is reduced by 50 cents for every dollar of income beyond the basic OAS pension. That's called a 50% clawback rate. It is one of the highest effective clawback rates in the Canadian benefit system. So if you take an extra $2,000 out of your RRIF beyond your planned income, you will lose $1,000 in GIS over the following 12 months. And that loss does not happen immediately. It happens after the July recalculation, which means it can feel delayed, confusing, and hard to trace back to what you did a year earlier. Presenter pause. Let this sink in. $2,000 comes in from the RRIF. $1,000 goes back out through reduced GEs. That is a 50% tax on your RRIF money, before regular income tax is even applied. Section 4. Real-life examples. 13 sa. Real-life examples. Use plain names, round numbers. Speak naturally, not like a textbook. Example 1. Dorothy and her RRIF withdrawal. Let's meet Dorothy. Dorothy is 74 years old. She is single. She receives old age security and GIS, and her total income last year was around $15,000, mostly CPP and the mandatory minimum from her RRIF. Her car breaks down in February. She needs $3,000 for repairs. She doesn't have it in a checking account, so she calls her bank and asks them to take it out of her RRIF. $3,000 is deposited into her account. The problem is paid. Dorothy feels relieved. But here is what Dorothy doesn't know yet. That $3,000 withdrawal gets added to her income on her 2024 tax return. In July 2025, when Service Canada recalculates her GIS based on that return, her GIS drops by $1,500 per year, $125 less every month for an entire year. Dorothy doesn't connect what happened in February with the payment change she notices in August. She calls Service Canada, confused. The agent explains the connection. Dorothy is frustrated. And honestly, who wouldn't be? The hard truth is, if Dorothy had the same $3,000 sitting in a TFSA, she could have taken it out, paid for the repairs, and her GIS would not have moved at all. Example 2. Harold, who did it right. Now let's look at Harold. Harold is 77. He is also single. He planned ahead with his financial advisor several years ago and was told to contribute to his TFSA every year, even in small amounts, so he'd have a tax-neutral emergency fund. Harold's furnace stops working in January. He needs $4,000. He goes to his TFSA, takes out $4,000, fixes the furnace, and moves on with his winter. When Harold's GIS is recalculated the following July, nothing changes. The $4,000 from the TFSA did not appear on his tax return. It was not income. Service Canada sees the same income as the year before. Harold's GIS stays exactly the same. Harold saved himself $2,000 in reduced GIS compared to Dorothy, simply because the money came from a different account. Same emergency, same withdrawal amount, completely different outcome. That is the power of understanding which account to use. The misunderstanding most seniors have. The most common misunderstanding I hear is this. People assume that because a RRIF is a retirement account, something set up specifically for retirement income, that it must be treated differently or more gently by the benefit system. It is not. The CRA does not care that the money was originally saved for retirement. When it comes out of a RRIF, it is income. Period. Service Canada counts it. GIS responds. The second misunderstanding is that people believe a TFSA is only for saving, not for spending in retirement. The truth is the opposite. For GIS recipients, the TFSA is your most GIS-friendly spending tool in retirement. It exists to be used, and every dollar you withdraw from it instead of your RRIF is a dollar that doesn't cost you GIS. Section 5. What to check, what to do. 13 Okamaus, 17-30. What to check and what to do. Practical, actionable steps. This section earns trust. Step 1. Find out what your current GIS is based on. The first thing you want to do is log into your My Service Canada account. This is the official online portal at canada.ca. Look for the section that says Old Age Security and GIS. From there, you can see your current benefit amounts and, importantly, what income year they are based on. If you don't have a My Service Canada account set up, you can call Service Canada directly at WITS 1-800-277-9914. They can tell you your current GIS amount and the income figure being used. Step 2. Look at line 23,600 on your last tax return. Pull out your most recent notice of assessment, the document CRA sends you after processing your tax return. Look for line 23,600. That number is your net income. That is the number Service Canada used to set your current GIS level. Now think about what went into that number. Did you take a large RRIF withdrawal last year? Did you receive a lump sum CPP arrears payment? Did you have any unusual income? If so, and if your GIS went down in July, that is almost certainly why. Step 3. Know what your RRIF minimum will be. If you have a RRIF, or if you are approaching age 71 and will need to convert soon, contact your financial institution and ask them, what is my minimum withdrawal amount for this year? And what will it be next year? That minimum is going to show up as income on your tax return. You cannot avoid the minimum. It is legally required, but knowing the number in advance lets you plan around it. If the minimum alone doesn't push you over the GIS threshold, you may be able to keep your GIS intact. Step 4. Maximize your TFSA. If you haven't already, if you have unused TFSA contribution room, and many seniors do, especially those who didn't use it much during working years, this is a good time to explore contributing. Every dollar in your TFSA is a dollar you can someday withdraw without affecting your GIS. As of 2024, the total TFSA contribution room available since the program started in 2009 is $88,000 for someone who was eligible every year. If you haven't been contributing, there may be significant room available. You can check your exact room in your CRA My Account online, or by calling CRA at 1-800-959-8281. Step 5. Before you withdraw anything, ask one question. Before you take money from any registered account, ask yourself, which account will cost me the least in GIS? The general order for GIS recipients tends to be, use your TFSA first, then use non-registered savings if you have them. Use RRIF as a last resort for discretionary spending beyond the mandatory minimum. And when you do need to use it, try to plan the timing so the withdrawal doesn't push you over the income threshold in the same year as other higher income. This is not investment advice. It is a practical guide to understanding how the Government of Canada counts your income. For your personal situation, a nonprofit seniors financial counselor or a financial planner who specializes in retirement can help you build a plan around these rules. Section 6. Common Mistakes and Warnings. 1730-2030. Common Mistakes and Warnings. Empathetic but firm. Seniors need to hear these clearly. Mistake 1. Treating all registered accounts as equal. This is the big one. A TFSA and a RRIF look similar from the outside. They are both registered accounts at your bank, they both show up on your investment statements, and they both hold your retirement savings. But from the GIS perspective, they could not be more different. Treating them as interchangeable is the most costly mistake a GIS recipient can make. Mistake 2. Not knowing the GIS cliff. There is a concept sometimes called the GIS cliff. For couples or for seniors with allowance payments, the income thresholds are structured in a way where a relatively small increase in income can cause a dramatic drop in GIS, especially near the upper income threshold. Before making a significant financial decision, it is worth knowing exactly where your income sits relative to that threshold. Mistake 3. Thinking that a TFSA is too late. Some seniors tell me, "I'm already 80. What's the point of contributing to a TFSA?" Here is the reality. As long as you are a Canadian resident, aged 18 or older, and have a valid social insurance number, you can contribute to a TFSA, even at 80, even at 85. The money you put in today can be withdrawn in the future without touching your GIS. It is never too late to start protecting the benefit. Mistake 4. Forgetting about the timing of the GIS recalculation. Remember, your GIS is recalculated every July based on the previous tax year. So if you make a large RRIF withdrawal in October of this year, the effect on your GIS won't happen until July of next year. This delay creates a false sense of security. People make the withdrawal, feel fine, and then are blindsided 8 months later when their July payment drops. Mark it on a calendar if you have to. A RRIF withdrawal today will affect your GIS starting next July. Warning: be careful with income splitting claims. You may have heard about pension income splitting, where spouses split certain pension income on their tax returns to reduce their combined taxes. Pension splitting can have GIS implications because it changes what income appears on each person's tax return. This is a nuanced area that depends on your individual household situation. If you and your spouse both receive GIS or related benefits, always consult with CRA or a qualified advisor before doing any income splitting. Section 7. Future Impact. 2030, 2330. Future Impact. What changes to watch for. Forward-looking but grounded. No speculation. TFSA contribution. Limits will continue to rise. The federal government adjusts the annual TFSA contribution limit based on inflation. In recent years, it has been between $6,000 and $7,000 per year. As these limits continue to rise over time, the total cumulative room available to each Canadian senior grows as well. This is good news. It means every year you have more room to shelter income from the GIS calculation. The exact limit for 2025 and beyond has not been confirmed in all cases at the time of this recording, so please verify the current limit at canada.ce or through the CRA My Account portal. RRIF minimum withdrawal. Rates increase with age. Here is something that catches many seniors off guard. The percentage you must withdraw from your RRIF every year goes up as you get older. At age 71, the minimum is about 5% of the account value. By age 80, it approaches 7%. By age 90, it is approaching 11%. What this means is, if your RRIF balance is significant, the mandatory minimums could start pushing your income higher and higher over the coming years, which could gradually reduce your GIS even if you are not making any voluntary withdrawals. This is especially important to be aware of if you are in your early to mid-70s right now and your RRIF is growing. GIS amounts are indexed, but so are the income thresholds. On the positive side, GIS benefit amounts are indexed to inflation. The Government of Canada adjusts both the payment amounts and the income thresholds quarterly, based on the Consumer Price Index. This means that over time, a small amount of additional income does not automatically disqualify you from GIS. The threshold also rises, but it does mean that you should check the current threshold numbers at the start of each year, rather than relying on figures from 2 or 3 years ago. The numbers you see in old articles online may not reflect today's thresholds. The July recalculation. Every year. One thing you can count on is that this process repeats every year. Every July, Service Canada reviews your GIS based on your prior year's income. That is not going to change, which means every year, the decisions you make about withdrawals from your TFSA versus your RRIF have direct, predictable consequences for your GIS the following year. This is actually good news. It means you have the ability to plan. If you know the rule, and now you do, you can make decisions that protect your GIS year after year. Section 8. Calm Summary, 2330-26. Calm Summary. Slow down. Speak like a trusted friend summing up. No new information here. Let's bring this all together, simply and clearly. There are 2 retirement accounts at the center of this conversation, the TFSA and the RRIF. They look similar from the outside, but they are treated completely differently by Service Canada when your GIS is calculated. Money you withdraw from RRIF is counted as income on your tax return. That income is used by Service Canada every July to determine how much GIS you receive for the next 12 months. The clawback rate is 50 cents for every dollar over the basic OAS threshold, meaning a RRIF withdrawal can be extremely costly if it reduces your GIS. Money you withdraw from a TFSA is not counted as income. It does not appear on line 23600 of your tax return. Service Canada does not see it. Your GIS is not affected. This is the core truth. For anyone receiving GIS, the TFSA is your most powerful tool for accessing savings without penalty. Use it before you use your RF for anything beyond the mandatory minimum. If you are not sure how much room you have in your TFSA, check your CRA My account. If you are not sure how your current GIS is calculated, call Service Canada or log into My Service Canada account. You have every right to understand your benefits, and the information is there for you. These are not impossible rules to navigate. They are fixed, predictable rules. Once you know them, you can plan around them, and planning around them could mean hundreds or even thousands of extra dollars in your pocket every single year. Section 9, Engagement Prompt, 26 Kule, 28 SAS. Engagement Prompt, warm, conversational close, no pressure, genuine curiosity. Before I let you go today, I'd like to ask you a question, and I really do hope you'll share your experience in the comments below. Did you know about the difference between TFSA and RRIF withdrawals when it comes to your GIS? Was this something you had figured out already? Or is this the first time you're hearing it explained this way? Your answer genuinely matters, not just to me, but to other seniors watching this video. When you share what you've experienced, you help your neighbors understand that they are not alone, and that these rules, while complicated, can be understood. If you have a specific situation you'd like me to look at in a future video, maybe you've had a payment drop unexpectedly, or you're trying to figure out how to manage a large RRIF balance, please leave that in the comments as well. I read them all, If you found this video helpful, subscribing to Retirement Path Canada means you'll see the next one as soon as it goes up. We cover CPP, OAS, GIS, estate topics, pension splitting, and more, all with the same approach. No hype, just the real rules, explained clearly. Thank you so much for watching. You are doing the right thing by taking the time to understand your benefits. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Production notes, B-roll suggestions, CRA website on screen, My Service Canada login page, a senior at a computer or reviewing mail, a Canadian bank statement, blurred for privacy, autumn outdoor scenery for warm tone, graphics needed, GIS clawback diagram, RRIF withdrawal, line 23600, GIS reduction, what side-by-side TFSA versus RRIF comparison table, Dorothy and Harold example dollar comparisons. Lower thirds, GIS IAS's guaranteed income supplement, RIF, registered retirement income fund, line 23600, second net income on your tax return, Service Canada, 1-800-277-9914, CRA, 1-800-959-8281. Verify all benefit amounts and thresholds at canada.c before publishing. GIS thresholds are updated quarterly. Script is based on rules current at time of writing.